Alright guys, in this video I'm going to quickly kind of skim the surface of what I like to call the tactical purchase priority list. Alright, so what I mean by tactical purchase priority list, or whatever you want to call it, is basically, not everybody has unlimited funds. I sure don't. I don't imagine too many of you do. So what the idea is, you make a list of things you have or things you need to buy, tactically speaking, like accessories or parts for your guns, and you go by that list and you prioritize what the very next thing you need to buy is. So that way, if you get some Christmas money, some side job money, some cash, anything like that, and you want to make another purchase, it goes to that very first thing on the list. Once that's done, scratch it off and then you can go to the next thing. And so it'll just kind of help you, like I find a lot of times I'll see something on sale and I'll be like, man, I need one of those, and I'll buy it because it's on sale. Well, it might have been like fourth on my list and I could have gotten something that I needed later instead of spending that money on something I didn't quite need as much at that time. Anyway, and this is also going off of the idea that, or the assumption that we all have, or you've already made the big three purchases, which is handgun, rifle, shotgun, that sort of thing. And to go along the lines of that, with your handgun, it should be an EDC handgun, something you can carry. It doesn't need to be like a, if you want to carry a Glock 17, then go for it, but if you're not going to carry a 17 or full size every day, then don't buy that first. Buy a 19 or something like that, something a little smaller that you'll carry every day. And along with that pistol, y'all can fight over this in the comments of what order goes where. I'm not going to go into that here, but you're going to need some ammo, mags, training, holster, good belt, that sort of thing, all that stuff. This video is going to go off the assumption that we have the big three and we already have ammo and mags and training and belts and holsters and all that stuff. So I'm just going to go over a couple of mine, a couple of my guns, and maybe some of the things that I need to improve upon them. Like this gun, this is my SBR. It's a 10.3 inch ballistic advantage barrel, ballistic advantage upper. I think it's a Palmetto lower that's registered. Magpul stuff, Trijicon, Surefire. This thing right here is pretty much decked out like all the way. It's got it's got a Bravo Company lower parts with a trigger, so it's got good parts in it. It's got Magpul furniture, that's all good. It's got a really good optic, Trijicon MRO. It's got probably one of the highest quality lights, a Surefire Scout. This is the 300. It's got a rock solid barrel, ballistic advantage Hansen barrel. It does have a BCM bolt. I'm not going to charge it because it's actually loaded and it's got one in the chamber, and I don't feel like undoing all that. So it's got a BCM bolt, nice barrel, Surefire tape switch. The only thing that I would say on this rifle right here that would need to be upgraded next are maybe these backup sights. These are like the polymer Magpul backup sights. They work. I don't expect the Trijicon to go down, but things happen. And I do have sights on there, but like I said, they're just a plastic Magpul. So I'd probably replace those with like some Midwest or some Magpul like true iron sights, like steel sights, and this thing would be completely ready to go from one end to the other. It does have a bird cage, which some people think is not cool enough, but this is a 10.5 inch rifle. It puts out a pretty good bit of blast, especially indoors. So a flash hider kind of helps with that, and I don't have a suppressor for it. I don't really have any plans on buying one for this, so if I ever do, then I will swap that out for a flash hider that accepts said suppressor. Charging handle, it's got the Ambi Raptor charging handle, so seriously, from one end to the other, this thing pretty much has everything you could think of. Because this is my go-to rifle, my home defense, my fighting rifle, whatever you want to call it. This is probably my go-to. and I don't want anything from end to end. I don't want to have to worry about anything on this. So I don't really have anything on this rifle very high on the priority list, because like I said, it's already pretty much decked out. The next rifle, you've probably seen this one a good bit. This, if that's my go-to, like home defense, you know, close range stuff, this would be my go-to, I guess, not battle rifle. Y'all can argue the semantics later. But anyway, this is my go-to like fighting rifle, you know, outdoors. It's camo, full length barrel, 1:6 primary arm scope on it. This thing right here, pretty much like my other rifle, is decked out as much as I want it to be. The only thing, plastic Magpul sights, those probably need to be replaced. But you know, it's got, I'm not sure what kind of parts kit, but it's got an ALG trigger, super nice trigger, Daniel Defense barrel, BCM bolt, all the furniture is BCM and Magpul. That's all solid stuff. It's got a Griffin Armament M4 SD. This is like the old school one. Super good brake, comp, whatever you want to call it. Surefire Scout. This is the 1500 dual fuel, 1500 lumen dual fuel, 600 Scout, whatever you want to call it. The rail, it's got an ALG rail, just like that one. Forgot to mention, both of these have ALG rails, which are sister company to Geissele, so they're good to go. BCM gunfighter charging handle, BCM grip, centrifuge training sling, Warren scope mount. The only thing besides the sights that I'm not too confident, or not super confident, is the primary arm scope. It's kind of a lower end scope. I'd rather have like a Trijicon, or you know, something in the $1,000, $800,000 range, or maybe like one of their primary arms platinums, just to have a little bit more peace of mind in the durability. This is a good scope, but this much scope for that price, they have, you know, the durability is probably where it's lacking. But scope mount, I'm confident in. All the other stuff, so yeah, like this one, I would say the first thing are the plastic sights and a new scope. Or I do have another red dot laying around. I could do a red dot and a magnifier. That would be a good idea too. But yeah, this one. All right, so that brings me to this guy right here. This is my truck gun, backpack, traveling gun, whatever you want to call it. It's a pistol, so I can take it wherever I want. It's got the law folder on it. 10.5 inch barrel. It's got a primary arms advanced micro dot, which I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure it's like the same thing as a Holosun, because it has the exact same features, same buttons, same all that stuff. So yeah, things that this gun needs. The barrel is, I think, a Palmetto State barrel. It's just like one of their basic barrels, so you know, that's not ideal. Even the bolt carrier in it is Palmetto. You know, decent stuff, but it's not the best. It's not BCM. So I'll probably like to put maybe like a Radian bolt carrier in here. That's what I've been eyeballing. All the parts are good. Charging handle, it's got a BCM charging handle. It's got an Enforce light. I'd kind of like to have a Surefire on there, but I haven't had any issues with these Enforces. But anyway, the very first thing I would like to replace on this is the bolt carrier. I'd like to get a higher quality bolt carrier, and then after that, maybe a new barrel. I'm thinking about maybe even going with an 8.3, I think Hansen 300 Blackout barrel. So keep that on the hush hush. That might be a video in the next few months or so. But yeah, other than that, this thing is pretty good. It's got a Geissele optic mount. I'm confident in the optic. All the other stuff, the internal parts, I'm happy with. Bolt carrier and barrel in that order. Alright, so next, like pistols. We'll go to pistols. This one, yes, it is loaded. No, there's nobody behind me. There's actually nobody around me, so yeah. This is my Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. This thing is pretty good from the factory. I did change the sights out with Ameriglows. The next thing I would want to change or add is a red dot. That's the main reason I got the MOS, because it had the plate on it. For the red dot, I'll probably it'll either be the Holosun 507 or a Trijicon RMR. I think that's right, Trijicon RMR. But it'll probably be the Holosun because it's like $200 cheaper and good to go. So anyway, this is like in my EDC rotation with my shield, red dot, and I'll probably have to get I'll probably have to get suppressor sights to go with that red dot. So that's top of the list for this gun. Nope, here's another one, the Glock 17. This doesn't get carried that much. It kind of stays in the house. It's like a home defense pistol, or just like a secondary home defense gun. One thing I like to change on this is the light. This is a Streamlight TLR1. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of Streamlight sucks and Surefire is better or any of that stuff. The main reason I want to upgrade this is because this is like the old TLR. It's like 130 lumens. It's not very bright. Yes, it will work in a house, whatever, but I would rather have like 800 or however many lumens come in the new ones. But with all this other stuff, that's money. It just has to fall in priority list. It does have a light. It's not like it doesn't have one. If it didn't have one, that would move it up on the priority list. But that's what this gun needs. I think that's about it for like my main rotation guns. So just something to think about. I'm not going to tell you what to put on your list or what's higher than others. Just make your list and stick by it. It's kind of like a budget, for your household. Start off with number one, top priority, get that, move down the next one and down the line, and before you know it, you'll have all your important stuff taken care of.